Hi, this is Michelle Troman from MyJourneyToLove.com, where you don't need to fit in, just show up as you are. After a bad relationship, a spiritual advisor kept telling me to love yourself first, as if Prince Charming would float in on a magic carpet once I figured myself out. But after I did the inner work and waited to feel ready, I met another frog. So I later ditched that bullshit. But was I wrong to do that? Is love yourself before you love others helpful advice, or just a feel-good slogan that makes people blame themselves for bad dating luck? To find out, I went down a research rabbit hole that included creating a few informal polls. In the next few minutes, I'll show you one surprising poll result, 3 research takeaways, and 3 simple actions you can try this week. First, a quick surprising stat. In a poll of 118 people I ran, more than half said you don't have to love yourself first. That surprised me, and it might surprise you too. If you're watching this feeling like you're not perfect enough for love like I once did, this video is especially for you. But for now, is love yourself before loving others just a feel-good saying based on pop psychology? Not exactly. If you dig a little deeper, the philosophy holds a grain of truth. Based on my experience and research, you don't need to love yourself to attract someone, but self-acceptance makes a loving, stable relationship more likely. Now, where the phrase love yourself before you love others came from, what the polls say, and the 3 things the research supports. First, where does the whole philosophy come from? The exact origin is unclear. The phrase has roots in spiritual and psychological traditions, ideas about self-awareness and inner peace, which show up in Buddhism, Taoism, and later in Western psychology. Fast forward to the self-help boom that has spread into pop culture, and the phrase became shorthand for get your inner house in order before you share it with someone else. The belief carries pros and cons. It can feel like you're doing relationships wrong if you haven't become self-actualized. But if you want to grow, it can help you work toward becoming a better partner. What are the arguments for and against the love yourself first philosophy? Little research is available. A 2021 study by the Knot, which surveyed over 500 women aged 18 to 29, found that 79% said you must love yourself before you can love someone else. To learn more, I ran some informal polls on Reddit to gauge interest and gain insights. In the first one, open to anyone, I asked, do you believe you must love yourself first before you can love a romantic partner? Out of 118 people, more than half answered no. Loving yourself can help you learn self-love too. That sparked my curiosity about why they responded the way they did. So I posted another poll. If you believe you must love yourself first before you attract a romantic partner, why do you think that? Again, it was open to all. The forum rules restricted me from encouraging explanations for the top choice, other, 47% of replies. The runner-up was personal experience, 36%. In a final anonymous survey of 31 Redditors aged 30 plus from English-speaking countries, 68% didn't believe they had to love themselves first. 19% said yes, and 13% were undecided. When asked where their beliefs came from, 69% said personal experience, 13% based them on observation, and 10% on logic. The remaining answers varied. Disclaimer: these were informal, self-selected polls, not representative studies. See the blog, which I linked to in the video description, for more details. Research reveals evidence for the yeas and nays. 3 quick takeaways from it. 1. People who accept themselves tend to report higher relationship satisfaction and more stable partnerships. 2. Self-love isn't an absolute gatekeeper. Relationships can teach you to accept yourself. Studies show secure partners can buffer or reduce the negative effects of an insecure partner's attachment style. 3. Low self-esteem creates relationship problems, but people with it can receive love and grow, though they can misinterpret affection or avoid intimacy unless they work on their beliefs. This quote from Psychology Today effectively applies to how the evidence regarding self-esteem stacks up against the love yourself first philosophy. Looking at long-term relationships, especially famous ones, we can understand how this plays out. Obviously, we're limited to each person's views and eyewitness accounts. We can all project an image of how we want to appear. We don't always know what really happened behind closed doors. Take the marriage of Ozzy and Sharon Osbourne. Ozzy Osbourne spoke openly about hating himself during his worst years: addiction, despair, feeling unworthy. Sharon, in interviews and in a memoir, has also written about struggling with her self-image and eating disorders, yet they stayed together for decades. On the surface, that appears to contradict the love yourself first ideology. Sharon and Ozzy weren't perfect. Many observers consider the relationship codependent. My point isn't to romanticize or excuse harmful behavior. It's to show that both partners in long-term relationships can learn and grow throughout the experience, and with support from the other partner come to terms with a greater acceptance for themselves. That said, support can help, but it isn't an excuse for abuse or enabling. Growth still requires care, clear boundaries, and sometimes outside help. As you can see by now from looking at the evidence and possibly also your experiences, when you're confident, you're more likely to attract caring partners than if you dislike yourself. What we reflect, we can attract. Self-acceptance won't promise perfection, but it gives you the freedom to walk away from what doesn't fit. That feeling of relief and freedom, that's the payoff. You'll be less likely to act impulsively as I did and enter a relationship without thinking. Here are 3 simple actions you can take today, whether you're single or seeing someone. 1. Explore your relationship goals to reach a better understanding of whether potential partners reflect who you are. Ask, why is being in a relationship important to me? How does my level of self-acceptance shape the way I choose and treat partners? 2. Look for reciprocity, not perfection. A partner who supports your growth is more valuable than one who expects you to arrive perfect. 3. Take care of yourself. Get more rest. Listen to music, practice gratitude, sing or do things you love more often. It can change how you show up in your world. Remember that spiritual advisor told me to love myself first? She was half right. You don't need to love yourself. You need to accept yourself. And unlike waiting for perfection, self-acceptance can start today. Finding what brings you joy can help you discover who you are, also known as your authentic self. It doesn't necessarily involve fixing your flaws. It's more about accepting yourself as you are now, as awkward and painful as that might seem. Love might not float in on a magic carpet, but the greater self-confidence that results helps you avoid settling for relationships that don't nurture you. You'll be more likely to walk away from game players and time wasters. You'll feel good enough about yourself to stand up for yourself and won't settle for scraps. Thank you so much for watching. In future videos, we'll explore who best to look for and how that dovetails with who you are to help you find the right partner. And if you want the full write-up with research sources and more insights, check out the blog this video is based on. While you're there, take my short quiz to find out if you're comfortable showing up as your true self or if you're dating in disguise. The links are in the description. What do you think of the idea of love yourself before you love others? Is it BS? Let me know in the comments.